Whoa, look how bright that is. That is not correct right there, guys. Oh my gosh. That is the brightest camera I have ever seen in my life. What is happening? Well, this is what happens when you set up a camera. You look like, you're going to see the light. You go into heaven here. Those of you who are listening to this as a podcast, I pity you, and I also don't pity you because it's about as bright as this friggin' thing could be. I don't know why. I changed it earlier. Let's see. Let's bring it down a notch. No, that's still too bright. Oh, good grief. I'm going to bring it down so it gets dark. I'm a dark individual. Hey, I see other dark individuals. Hey, look, it's a stupid light. See this? This is what happens. I turn this light on above me, and it's fluorescent. It creates these lines. All right, these lines got to go. I'm doing it now. All right. There's still lines. WTF, bro? What's going on? I don't know what's happening. Hello, Jessica Egan. Howdy, friend. Hello, Susie Dunn. These stupid lines weren't here every single time I've done this up until now. And it's just sort of like this is me to a T. We got to deal with the lines right off the bat. We're going to fix this, and we're going to beat this thing, and I think I know how to do it. We're going to do some troubleshooting, much like your HVAC troubleshooting you might be doing right now. Here, let me loosely tie this together so I can do this. What we're going to do is I'm going to video output. Let's change the frame rate. See if that helps. We're going to change the frame rate to something slower. It's going to suck. Watch this. I'm going to ruin it more. All right, let's see. This thing on the screen over there, but it says I'm broadcasting. It says I have an excellent connection, and then all I see is a little thing going like this. That's all I see the whole time. So we'll see here. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, there I am. I see myself on the screen now. Okay, I think I've caught up. All right. Hey, what a cluster. I'm just going to, for the podcast purpose, they don't have to hear any of that. So I can just say, welcome back to HVAC Shop Talk. My name is Zack in my radio announcer voice. Call in now to win a free vacation to see Kenny Chesney's home. You can call in at 1-555-555-555-555, and you can win all of that stuff just by calling in and answering our 3 trivia questions about indigenous peoples and world mountain ranges. It never happened. It's gone. It's over. So let me start this thing off by complaining, which I think is good. It's not good, but here's a problem that I have, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to fix it, if I'm going to have to bend the knee, so to speak. So my problem is I use StreamYard for a long time, both as a primary streaming device, software, online service, maybe, or in concert with a broadcasting software to deliver these Emmy Award-winning live streams. So the problem is that StreamYard gave me the big old shaftaroony and kept billing me over and over again after I stopped their service. And then I got on the computer and chatted with them, because nowadays you don't call people. You have to chat with them. You can't talk to a human. See, first it was you can't see one in person. Now we've been downgraded to you can't even talk to one live on the telephone. You have to use a chat. But it was a real person. It wasn't like one of those chats where it's automated and then it asks you if it fixed your problem. Like, hello, chat. My car is making a sputtering noise. I see that you have a car. Is the sputtering noise a missing motor? Was this helpful? Yes or no? No, it was not helpful. I have a motor in it still. Okay, I understand. Is your car low on motor oil? No, it's full of motor oil. I see. And it goes on for like an hour. That's annoying. We have become, well, I don't know. The world's just gone to hell in a handbasket, guys, as my grandpa would say. But StreamYard kept billing me. See how I got back to it? StreamYard kept billing me, and I got on there. I was like, hey, man, you're billing me. I don't have your service. So you're billing me, which is basically stealing money from me repeatedly. It's like, it's $25 a month, but they kept doing it like over and over again. And it was not monthly intervals. It was like weekly. I was like, hey, guys. Not only are you doing it incorrectly, I don't have your service either. So there's 2 fine points on why you should stop. So they stopped, and they were trying to get me to continue the service while we're doing this. I'm like, no. It was like a sales presentation. It's like, hey, we're having a problem. Before you go into sales mode, how about you fix the problem first so I don't think you're a D-bag? But I did think that because they were. And after they solved the problem, they started billing me again like a few weeks later. And I was like, hey, man, what is your deal? So I canceled my debit card and got a new one so they would leave me alone. All right, here's the problem. I want to interview some folks again, but that's the service that I used. So I need an alternate service, or I have to go back there and try that again, which it was always good except for that service. I hate to go back there and reward such horrible customer service because it's just the worst. It was like the worst the first time, and then they doubled down on it sucking. And I don't want to be part of that. But I also want to have Chris Forsyth, who is Santa Claus, if you didn't know. He's been like, Zach, I'm ready to come back on the show. I want to do the show. I was like, Chris, you can tell someone hasn't listened in a while. It's like, I haven't interviewed anybody in like 2 or 3 months. And Chris is like acting like I've been doing all these interviews. I'm assuming he doesn't listen. But he just likes to come on the show, which is fine. But it's just kind of funny too. But I want to have him on the show, and I want to do it Sunday night, and we were going to burn this MFer down. But, you know what I'm saying? It's not, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I'm about to go to StreamYard, be like, StreamYard, could you not screw me over, yet I'll use your service? They're like, sure, we'll do that. We have now charged you $1.3 million. Well, joke's on you, that's going to bounce. $1,000. Ha, still bouncing. Ha ha, you suck. Oh no, I'm poor. That's a shame. So that's my StreamYard deal right there. And the happy news for this podcast is that we have one of our old sponsors rejoin us after a long time. That's why I asked the other day, who was my son Jackson named after? I put like several different choices, and the actual answer is Jackson Brown, the folk singer. I named him after Jackson Brown. When I was coming up, I was a teenager. I found Jackson Brown's early music, and it just really resonated with me. Not the parts of his personality politically or some of his personal life, but the music resonated. So I named him Jackson. I won the bet. He was a boy, so I got to name him. I've named 2 of my 4 children, which is fair if you do the percentages. Andrew, my first son, and Jackson, my final child. And then in between, there was the twins, and Melissa named them Mallory, after Mallory from Family Ties, which is a great show. No problem there. Her name is Mallory Elise. Mallory is the daughter. Elise is the mother on Family Ties. And then Landon was named after Michael Landon, who is awesome. He was, Michael Landon. I can't do his Michael Landon smile, but Highway to Heaven, it's a great show back in the day. The younger techs are like, I wasn't born yet. That is correct. If you are someone like Cannon Casey, you were not born yet, and you were not anywhere near being born at the time of Highway to Heaven. But that's fine. It's okay. Even though I look young, I try to grow my beard real long so you can see all the gray hair. I'm almost 45. So I am near the ending. It's almost over for me. But for many of you, it just began. So all that was to say that back in the day, we made fun of the fact that my son was named Jackson and say that he was named for Jackson Systems, which was a sponsor back then, which is a sponsor again, which is leading me into this section of the show where I play their sponsor stuff. And for anyone who owns their own business or has any sort of pull with the business that they are with, Jackson Systems has started a new, it's like Filter Fetch. If you remember Filter Fetch, they have a thing where they would help you with your air filters. They would send them out to your customers. You'd make money, and they would handle the process of sending them out at intervals. They sign up, and you make sure their actual filters were changed, or they would at least have filters they could change if they would do it. Well, they've expanded that to cover IAQ products too, so I'm going to show you this little thing right here, and I'll be right back with you after these messages. Let's hope this works. If your business sells IAQ products, you need to find out more about this great program from Jackson Systems and Supply. Modern HVAC and IAQ companies offer a lot of IAQ products, including UV lights, media filters, and much more. With the new AirLink program, Jackson Systems gives the contractors a chance to make money while taking the strain off of the contractor. With so many different types of air cleaners, filtration, and UV lights out there, it's hard for a contractor to remember which one goes where and when it's time to change it. First things first, you have to sign up with Jackson Systems to be an AirLink partner. Use the link on the screen or the one you see in the description. Next, you're going to work with the Jackson Systems guys to figure out what you want to sell, how you want to sell it, figure out what you need to sell it for. They're there to help you make sure you're making money, even though they're putting in the legwork. You can even have your own branding on some of those products. Next, you're going to do your installations like you always have done and show your customers how to scan the QR code and reorder their products. And then find yourself a nice beach or a yacht to sit on, because you can sit back and relax, and Jackson Systems will do the rest. Sign up today, jacksonsystems.com/airlink. TreeTech Tools has a wide variety of great test equipment. It covers industrial emissions, cooling and heating service, building performance, and electrical testing. Those and so many more. TreeTechTools.com. Use the Shop Talk discount code to support this show and save 8% off at TreeTech Tools. So let's get to some comments here, and I have a comment that was made according to my internet 3 hours ago, but it's been open on this page for a little while, so it could have been 4 hours. So if this is the guy, then, you know, the chronological statement may be wrong. Get to the point. Okay, let's get to the point. So this was on a video called, "Is Micron Gauge Placement Important?" Seems like a rhetorical question. It really was, wasn't it? I just started to watch your video, and I already know that you're correct. I always like comments that start like that. Not the Zack jump in a river and you die. No, I like this one. I just started to watch your video, and I already know that you're correct. That it does make a difference where you put the micron gauge. And the best place to put it, to my knowledge, is always the furthest away from the system as possible. That way you're getting a reading at the end of the system, because by the time the reading gets to the beginning of the system at the start, on the low side, it should be 10 more minutes or 15 more minutes of deep vacuum using a 2-stage vacuum pump. So you can get a really good deep vacuum is the only real way to do it properly. So I'm going to continue to watch your video, but I'm fairly certain that's where this is going, and that's why you produced the video. So keep up the good work. Man, that's nice. I'm going to give him a heart symbol. Way to go, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's exactly right. Just for the reason that he stated. If you're right next to a pump, you're going to get a nice negative reading. Let's say negative. We're going to say vacuum. A vacuum reading, because you're right there at the pump. The pump has little work to do to make a vacuum 1 inch away from the pump. But if you're trying to pull a vacuum through 100 foot of 3/8 inch liquid line, then that's a lot more strain for the pump. So it's very easy to get that vacuum pulled close, but very difficult far away. And the reaches of a system have all these twists and turns, so you have all this moisture and contaminants that are trapped back there that are going to take a while to come out. So you know, by the time you pull a vacuum down to 250 or 300 at the far reaches of the system, right there next to the pump, it could be, 50 or 75 microns. So he's absolutely right to think that my video was correct. That's very self-serving sounding. But you know what? It is correct, because I just listened to another guy and then made a video on it. Just like everybody else on YouTube, it's just a video where some guy says something that a different guy has already said. And that guy was Jim Bergman. And Jim Bergman got it from a different guy. Probably his dad or something like that. I don't know. We had to go up the tree here of information. We have some comments in another language. It says, Harika Ber Shmlaga Blaga Bing Bang. I don't know what that means. We're going to keep on going. And I'm going to try to find something interesting. Let's see here. We got an R290 comment. This is all on YouTube, by the way. If you want to comment and you're on the podcast, you can email me. It's in the description of every podcast, my email address. You can do that. And I like to read stuff on the air, so you'll also be famous. So that's, a lot of people nowadays, they like the fame part. Okay? You could be the king of your own universe. So this one's on R290. The comment is, R290 sounds way better for heat pumps and water heaters. R290 cannot burn or blow up without oxygen. Most leaks in AC units are slow leaks, so as long as there is some airflow, it would be hard to build up to an explosive mix. Sounds like a challenge to me. Within the unit, don't have open sparking. Okay. There's no open sparking inside the unit, like unenclosed relays or loose wire connections. Don't let your pit bull play with the plumbing. That's a good thing to put on like a fortune cookie. Don't let your pit bull play with the plumbing. It's also a little bit of alliteration, which is fun. Millions have gas or propane heating, stoves, fireplaces, etc., and I would be more concerned with their plumbing, as they are often more in open space where they could be bumped or something and have a large amount of gas behind them. You know, I agree with that. A lot of times, systems are set up so safely that it would be hard to have an issue. A couple of key differences is the pressure that are inside the pipe. Now, if you light a pipe, a gas pipe, that has, like, let's see, 3.5 inches of water column pressure, that's got to go differently than if you light a gas pipe with 240 psi, or on the low side, maybe like 60 or 70 psi, 80 psi. It's similar to R22. So although I see his point, it's true, but still they have regulations against how much R290 you can put in the system, and that's got to be for a reason. They assume that there could be some issues, because once R290 does escape, if it is not a slow leak, if it gathers, and let's say you got your old drill out, your brushed drill, and you're going to screw a screw in the wall, and there's just enough propane in the air that you haven't noticed, I guess, that you are hitting that thing, and all of a sudden those brushes spark, and then you are talking to Jesus about that problem, going, what happened? He's like, you didn't get the gas system serviced, man. Oh, yeah, that explains it. There you go. So I'm going to get back here. Let's check comments, because I can't see the comment screen anymore. Mike Cianfrocco says, I'll come on. Yeah, bro. You know what? Let me talk about that for a minute, too, actually. Not you, Mike, but welcome back, Mike. Welcome, Raw. This show loves you, Raw. I just want you to know that. You're on a lot of the live streams chatting, and I really appreciate that. Keeping the chatting going is very important. Hey, look, there's a heart that flies through. Hey, it looks like YouTube does a thing where you can see people hit buttons now. I could see that, guys. We're communicating. It's very awesome. So when I saw like other podcasts, what I noticed is like a lot of them are like, it's like the same people are on all the podcasts. They go on there. It's like, hey, I'm going to talk about pipe sizing in VRF applications. I like how someone's just hitting the button like crazy now. I don't know who that is, but I love you. And I appreciate the 4,000 different little hearts and like stuff that are flying up. A couple things, I don't know what those are. There's like emojis flying up, and one of them I have no idea what it is. And for some reason, when I go over there on my screen and try to look, they don't show up. There's a lot of them. It's just funny. There's like a zillion of them flying out here. It's distracting. Stop it. No. What I was saying is like there's like a million. There's like a million people, and like all the same people all the time. It's like I didn't like school. Okay, I hated school. I went to college for like 1 year. I made good grades in college. I could have stayed there and got a degree. I hate school. I like to hands-on stuff, you know, lots of different stuff, not just school. We won't get into that, but school is one of those things that I was waiting to leave it the moment I got there. Oh yeah, I know the slime people. Yeah, that's right. I remember Jessica. For those of you like, what are you talking about, slime people? In the chat here, Jessica, I had a thumbnail I remember making of her with the slime. The drain slime, that is. You guys know what drain slime is. It's drain slime. You know the drain slime? Come on. This is Florida. Not this, but Jessica lives in Florida. So I got sick, and I'm transitioning back here. It's non sequiturs here. This show is made out of non sequiturs. So I get sick of hearing all the same people all the time talk about the same thing. Now, there's some people, like my favorite people in the world, I could hear them talk forever. But like an example of that is Dave Richardson. I could hear him talk forever because he's just like the nicest guy on the planet. And he tells you about stuff, and he doesn't seem like he's lording his knowledge over you. He doesn't seem like he's preaching at you. This is the best practices. You're supposed to use, like, it's like, oh, best practice you in the face. I always hated that. Maybe it's because of my attitude problems. I don't know. But I like hearing like regular guys talk. And regular guys, no one has them on because I don't know if they just don't have enough followers or what the problem is. But like I think Chris Forsyth has like 0 social media followers. So this show actually will get less people to watch it. I'm just kidding. He's a trip. But I just want to see something different. I see guys just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But this show is often hard to explain. And whoever's hitting that thing still, I admire the fact that you can keep going with that. That's amazing. It's like you set up some sort of contraption to hit emojis like this. It's amazing. I'm going to go to the comments again now, so I won't see that anymore. So I just want you to know that. Let's see here. They're talking about Jesus on Easter. You know what? Jesus did rise on Easter. That's a pretty good thing, too. Find out about that. That's one book I can actually read. And let's see. Is the Bosch IDS2 as good as a Train XV system? Let's see what this guy says. I don't know yet. It could be bad. We'll see. They measure suction saturation temp. This is talking about the Bosch, I guess. Suction superheat, suction pressure, outdoor temp, head pressure saturation temp, subcooling CFM based on, I don't know if the Bosch does all that. Maybe we're talking about something else. Based on installation requirements, interpolates indoor return air temperature and uses 7 days of AI of performance history in order to select the correct capacity of refrigerant to pump into the evaporator. That's more than 2 points. Also, latent load problems are often not even related to constant CFM blower motors. Constant blowers and latent loads issues have been around long before Bosch variables and other variable compressors began their journey into residential markets. Hey, that's true. But it doesn't matter how long a problem's been around. Good grief. Let's just pretend like that never happened. It doesn't matter how long a problem's been around. If you have that problem, who cares how long it's been around? That it's happening is the issue. Bosch has an issue, as far as I can tell, allegedly. Allegedly. I don't want a lawyer to call me, but I think Bosch has an issue allegedly. So I'm just going to say that. Train probably beat Bosch. Let's do one more. Service calls, midnight service calls with Ted Cook. I wonder how babies survive before air conditioning. This isn't Ted, this is somebody else. I wonder how babies survive before air conditioning. How do we even exist now? According to people now saying they need AC, we should have become extinct since AC is now life or death. How do we not die off before AC? Our on-call is until 8:30 p.m. After that, it's the next day or when the next opening is. So, most people died. That's why the world population was so low. Now it's so easy to live. It's just mushrooming, blowing up everywhere. No, I think the thing is tolerance builds over time. So if you have a tolerance for heat or cold, you're able to work a lot. Some of it's mental, mental stuff is you see sweltering heat outside and there's air conditioning inside. That heat outside looks even hotter and it feels hotter because there's a lot of mental play there. But if you've never had air conditioning before and you're used to it, your temperament is that you can take it. And I believe people can often take more than they think they can. They're just so used to not taking it that they don't believe they can. People survive for a long time. Back in the day, it's probably like you had cavemen times like, hey, what do we do before these caves? They're so cool out here. We must all just died. I mean, it's the same sort of thing. You just change the subject matter. What did we do before ceiling fans? Because there was no electricity, but there was like some fans. What do we do before the fan girl, like the Egyptian pharaohs? Like, what do we do before these fern people were here? It would have been hot out here in Egypt. I really do think that most people can take a lot more than they think they can. They're just conditioned over time to not take it. And I guess that can kill you because your mental state plays a major part in your health. But, like the guy says, the guy's making a good point. Let me get back to our comments here. Oh, man. Jessica says, I love David Richardson. Such an amazing guy. Raul loves Jessica. Don't tell Craig that. Mike says, I picked Dave Richardson up from the airport one time for the symposium. What? You picked Dave Richardson up at the airport? I mean, I've had him on the show now, but I'm not going to barbecues with him and stuff. That's crazy. All right, that's awesome. All right, let me play my other two sponsor bits here. Of course, we have old Yellow Jacket and Jobber. Check those out if that's your part of the market and you're interested. Yellow Jacket's got a lot of tools coming out now, and this is one of them right here. This is a new Y-Jack Flow, so I'll see you on the flip side. It's time for a new product announcement. Yellow Jacket style. Oh yeah. New stuff from Yellow Jacket means we're getting nice new tools that we can all fall in love with. This is the brand new Y-Jack Flow, part number 67069. The Y-Jack Flow is a wireless anemometer that hooks up with your smart device through the Y-Jack View app and allows you to measure airspeed and calculate CFM, so you know exactly what's going on in your system. And although it comes with an 18-inch probe that collapses down to 13 inches, you can get a 36-inch probe for larger ductwork. And unlike a lot of other tools out there, it has a 2-year warranty, but it's also made in the USA. This is the Y-Jack Flow, and you can find out more at yellowjacket.com. If you run a home service business like painting, contracting, lawn care, or cleaning, your to-do list is endless. From hiring staff to mountains of paperwork, not to mention doing the actual work that pays the bills. Jobber is a mobile and online app that helps you organize your business and look professional. With Jobber, you can quote jobs, schedule your crew, invoice, and get paid all in one place. Try it free today at getjobber.com/shop talk. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and because we do have ladies here today, I appreciate you coming in this morning. I just want to kind of touch base again. We're Shop Talk. I was integrating a lot of my tool stuff with this podcast, and it was like an organ that was rejected. It didn't work well. I thought it was going to work better, and it did not. But a lot of my plans, they end like that. And you have people in this world that are afraid to take risks. I take risks constantly, and that is also a problem. But it's who I am. I mean, I can't change anything. It's who I am. If I weren't that, I just wouldn't be. I'd be something else, and I don't want to be that. I want to be the crazy bee that I am, and that's what I'm going to do. So we're back, basically, is what I'm saying here, and tune in for more crazy bee moments from me. I appreciate you all coming in here. I'm going to try to get back here on Sunday. If I can figure out this interview stuff, I told Chris in order to keep me accountable, because Chris is psyched. So if I don't pull it off, he'll be super sad about it, and I don't want Chris to be super sad because I do believe he is the actual Santa, and I don't want any ramifications for my children. So watch out for that. If you want to see the tool stuff, I just have a channel called Zack's Tool Shop for that. And it's basically YouTube shorts, because I've realized if you try to make long, involved videos on YouTube, you can't actually get to the work you're trying to do. That was the problem. I made some pretty good tool comparison videos, but it takes so much editing and stuff that it's like, let me do this podcast here that we're all on. Let me try to do that. And there's no time to use the tools. And that's the point. You want to be able to use the tools, because I love tools. I'm surrounded by them. I have a wall I'm looking at right here, which is a wall of sockets that I've collected. I'm trying to assemble sets. Next month, I'm opening my first tool vendor location, where I have just a whole 100 square foot section in this huge vendor mall that we're at. And it's just vintage tools and new tools and all sorts of stuff. It's in Jacksonville. Susie knows what I'm talking about. But I love this stuff. I see some Craftsman USA. It's beautiful stuff, man. I see an oxygen sensor socket. I've never used one of those and never will. But I've got one, and I'm going to sell it to somebody for $8 or something like that. But I appreciate it, you guys. As always, I love you guys. Thank you for sticking with me. We had a little glitch in the beginning here. It happens. But I will see you hopefully on Sunday. Have a good week. And God bless all of you. Thank you for coming.
No, don't make me go. Oh, don't make me go to the ghetto supply house. There's folks on the curb, they've been drinking all day, looking at me with eyes of hate. I just want my condenser coil. There's only one place to find it. No, don't make me go. No, don't make me go to the ghetto supply house. Why must it be me every time? Bobby's not married, his life's worth less than mine. But I guess I'm just tougher, that's what I tell myself. If these guys walk over, I'll poop myself. Oh, no, don't make me go. No, don't make me go to the ghetto supply house. There's needles in the parking lot. Pokey, pokey, poke. Last week, 2 guys, they were shot. Bang, bang, bang. Don't buy the drop cord, it's surely hot. Oh no, don't make me go. No, don't make me go to the ghetto supply